So, welcome. Welcome to the SMS Sharad Mohan show. आज का topic, today's topic is going to be very relevant. It directly impacts all of us. It's regarding the finance. तो topic का heading क्या है? Well, the topic title is Are stable coins the answer to de-dollarization? एक बार फिर से सुनिए. Listen again. Are stablecoins the answer to de-dollarization? क्या सोचते हैं आप? What do you think? Well, if you see this screen, you will see that the total American debt is almost $36.2 trillion in US dollars, which equates to around 106 per person. So every person, every citizen of this country, which is America, USA, has a debt of almost 100K on its head. That's a hell lot of tax on your head. And if you break it to the per household, it will be around 273K, almost 300K debt on the citizen of this country. So something has to be done. Government after government has spent money, they have added to this debt. So I can't be partisan and blinded by any party. Every government has added, some have added little, some have added more, but this has accumulated to 36.2 trillion debt. So there are multiple ways, various measures the government is trying to do. And while this debt trap is becoming monstrous, there is another bad news for America, and which the financial experts have to solve, and that is the de-dollarization. Okay. So de-dollarization is another area where US is facing a lot of problem, and we need to get this removed soon, or at least have a policy to face it. Now, many experts are saying that de-dollarization can't be stopped. It's a one-way ticket to the moon. Well, I have no such expertise to comment on that, but what I will, for this presentation, I will talk about the stable coins and are the answers to de-dollarization. So if you see, let's first understand what's de-dollarization, right? De-dollarization refers to the global shift away from the reliance on the US dollar for trade reserves, international payment, everything. Several factors, including the geopolitical tensions, central bank diversification, and the development of alternative financial systems, are contributing to a shift away from the SWIFT mechanism for global money transfer, driving this trend. So this is where the current government is trapped, and they are trying to get rid of this by various measures, sometime by cutting expenditure, sometime by doing various tax reforms, all kinds of permutation combination, but nothing is helping to reduce this ever growing debt burden. And then on top of it, dollar, which is a fiat currency, is no more going to be a currency of the world. That's the picture many doomsayers they are painting, which may be somewhat near to the truth, not 100% correct, but somewhat near to the truth. So, what are the nuances, I would say, of de-dollarization? Let's understand that. So, the reinforcing of the dollar, potential for alternatives, and we have to see whether BRICS or the Europeans they have some similar alternate fiat currency or any currency for such limits as hedge. So all these things are making us uh, get into this discussion. And before I proceed further, let us understand what is fiat currency, because we have been hearing about fiat currency. Fiat currency actually refers to a money that is issued by a government and declared as a legal tender by the government. But, very important, but it is not backed by any physical commodity such as gold or silver. Its value, the value of, say, a dollar is not because of $1 has this much amount of gold or silver. It's totally based on the confidence of the people who use it, which is, for example, say Chinese people, Indian government, the UAE government, the European government, the African government. Every country government, they use dollar as their reserve currency because of the confidence in the US economy and the country. And it is supported solely by issuing government declaration and authority. The term fiat comes from the Latin word called let it be done, signifying the value by government order rather than inherent worth, right? So this was the understanding of the world, but then US, it's and but the rest of the countries of the world, they do have to keep certain amount of commodity, whether it's a gold or silver, to print their currency, except the dollar, mostly understood. But US, what and let me explain you the chronology of this. So the United States departed from the gold standard in two phases. First was in 1933. It's called the end of domestic gold standard. This was the time of Great Depression when President Franklin D. Roosevelt initiated a policy that ended the practice of exchanging US dollars for gold domestically, which means within America. This was in 1933. The private ownership of gold was restricted, and the dollar was no longer converted to gold for citizen, right? And this was, but then for the international trade, dollar was used as convertible to gold. But then comes a very eccentric president who was famous more for negative things, and Iran Gate and 1971 threatening to a democratic India, uh, not to support Bangladesh creation in spite of all the atrocities the Pakistani army had done to the eastern part of then Pakistan. So Nixon was the guy who threatened the Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi not to go in war for with Pakistan, but she overturned it, and we know rest of the history. Bangladesh was created. It's other thing now that Bangladesh is again back to the square one. That's a different topic. But Nixon gave to the world or America something called Nixon shock. What he did was on 15th of August 1971, he announced the suspension of the US dollar convertibility into gold for international transactions. And this was um, the transition of a dollar to a purely fiat currency. So you understood what is fiat is, right? So US became a total fiat currency. Gold was let go. But let me show you this one. The dollar is not just a currency for a lot of Americans, or in fact for the government of America. It's that the world sees. It is an American exceptionalism. Whether you like it or not, this is the reality, a status acquired post World War. So, whether it is a SWIFT transaction system, whether it's a IMF, whether it's a World Bank, whether it's a um, dollar exchange rate across various currency, everything is decided by the United States of America. And now there are powers like BRICS country association, they are challenging this, and this is where the problem starts, the friction starts. And then comes the crypto and the de-dollarization, all those things. So in this whole scheme of thing, you need to understand this stable coin. So let's understand what is the stable coin before we go to the next uh, slide. A stable coin is a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a stable value by pegging its price to a reserve asset, such as a fiat currency like US dollar, a commodity such as gold, or even another cryptocurrency. The main purpose of stablecoin is to offer the benefits of cryptocurrencies, such as fast, borderless transactions, and whether it's really borderless, that will learn later, while minimizing the extreme price volatility seen in popular cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, pegged value. Most stable coins are pegged 1:1 to a traditional asset. Example, one stable coin is equal to $1. Then the stability mechanism. Then come the uses. Stablecoins are often used for everyday transactions, 24 by 7 availability. You don't have to depend upon the typical banking system. So this may also help in reset of the entire banking system of the world, the way we do banking today. So there will be huge job cut, huge retraining, lot of things happening because of this. So in a nutshell, a stable coin function as a digital version of cash with minimal volatility, backed by the real world assets to make them more suitable for routine financial activities of typical cryptocurrencies. Okay, so you see, this is where the whole world is heading. Now, let me make it bigger. Okay, so we're going to the next slide. Are stable coins, again, as I said, are the digital assets that maintain a stable value of being pegged. Now, the role in de-dollarization is as below: reinforcing of the dollar, potential for alternatives, limits as hedge, which we had already discussed. And as you see, the widespread use, nearly 10 trillion is processed on public blockchain in 2022. So it's a huge number to be not seen that way. So the government of the day, various governments who have been very anti-crypto, they have to rethink their strategy. Um, there are a lot of other things happening in this area, and one of the thing which I would like to discuss with you is the what are the pros and cons if we have this, right? This currency. As I mentioned, price stability will be one. Unlike most cryptocurrencies, stablecoin maintain the consistent value, making them suitable for everyday transaction, fast and low cost transaction. This is very important. And this is where I mentioned that it will be outperforming the traditional banking, the entire remittance system. The speed and cost will be like a great uh, differentiator. Then comes the 24 by 7 accessibility. Stablecoins can be accessed and transacted anytime, anywhere without reliance on traditional banking. There is something called DEFI integration. They are essential to decentralized finance. DEFI is nothing but short of um, uh, decentralized finance, serving as a stable collateral and a medium for lending, borrowing, and yielding farming. Liquidity and trading. Traders use stablecoin to move funds quickly from between the assets or exchange, avoiding the volatility of other cryptocurrencies. You have global financial inclusion. You have programmability, where it could be, a lot of automated payments could be done. Advanced financial products could come out. Transparency. Blockchain based stablecoin allow users to track transaction, increasing market transparency. So these are all very positive side of the this particular stablecoin concept. But there are some cons, like centralization risk. Now, this is where I'm trying to bring the discussion to de-dollarization versus centralization risk using the stablecoin. Stablecoins, especially the fiat backed ones, which will be obviously the US driven stablecoins, are managed by centralized entities, creating reliance on trust and third party management. Very important. As of now, the cons is regulatory uncertainty, but as soon as the US makes it official, which the bill was passed today, I will come to the bill which you're seeing right now. It's called the three crypto bills. I will come to that. So regulatory uncertainty will be taken care of. Depegging and reserve risk, if not properly managed, stablecoin can lose their peg to the underlying assets. And this is where the de-dollarization comes in, guys. Due to poor reserve management, market events, or loss of trust, resulting in financial losses for holders. Dependence on underlying asset. The value and stability of stable coins depend on the quality and liquidity of their reserves. Limited upside. Since their value is fixed, stablecoins do not offer investment growth potential like other crypto. So it's a combination. In a summary, I would say stablecoin is coins. They are the combination of convenience of digital assets with a relative safety of traditional money, but users must carefully weigh centralization, regulatory, operational risk before relying on them for saving on transaction. So this is just a normal gap, right? But I would like to, before I go, discuss this slide, which says President Trump tariff war over allies, adversaries equal. This is where the trust factor comes in all this discussion, which I have been mentioning. Uh, is it playing transactionally, strategically, or both? And I will like to share with you a video first. So let me go to that video. And I want you guys to listen to this. This is from the White House spokesperson.
President Trump has ended the era of economic surrender and implemented powerful tariffs to stand up for our workers and businesses and rebalance America's trading agreements. Despite all of the doom casting from the so called experts claiming that these tariffs would be the end of the world as we know it, the opposite has occurred. Tariffs are not inflationary, as President Trump has said all along. In reality, tariffs are a source of massive revenue. We're seeing trillions of dollars in private investment pour into our country right now because the companies around this world want to make their products right here with American labor and not have to pay any tariffs at all. Customs and tariff revenue has already totaled more than $113 billion since President Trump entered office, helping to lead a budget surplus in June for the first time in nearly a decade. We are truly entering a golden age as a result of these pro-growth and America First trade policies.
Okay, so you heard her. Now, in spite of our political differences, this is the ruling government of the day, and we have to we have to see how they are implementing the various measure to help the country and the people, right? Since they have been voted with the most populist vote, electoral college vote, all kinds of mechanism in the democracy, we have to support the government of the day. For not for all policies, but the policy which is going to definitely fix a lot of problem. Well, there's one way of doing things, because irrespective of the government, whether it's Democrat or Republican, we have not been able to fix the debt, and America is still the financial engine of the world. That is the unfortunate truth for the rest of the world who aspire to become replace America. As of today, in spite of all this de-dollarization discussion, Chinese yuan accounts for less than 4% of the global trade as of late 2024. 4%. Yes, BRICS is in discussion, and but the government of India has said that there is no participation of the Indian government as far as the BRICS currency is concerned. So we'll see when we'll cross the bridge, as Mr. Jaishankar keeps on saying. Right now, BRICS is not working on any combined currency. It's only the bilateral trade between the among the countries, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. But dollar is still going to be the currency, and if dollar face de-dollarization, then the stable coins comes into the picture. Okay. Now you heard the White House lady saying about the tariff. Tariff is a policy which is seen by many, including myself, yours truly, as a very myopic transactional approach. It is going to totally shatter the trust which American currency or American government has, and it has been equally applied to both the allies and also adversaries, which is very, very shocking. And in this situation, the de-dollarization, one of the important building block of de-dollarization kind of situation is the trust factor, and trust in the currency and trust in the government, and both have been challenged by this move. We'll have to see with few $1 billion if America is going to screw their $1 trillion strategic relationship. We'll see. But as far as this program is concerned, there are two types. So there are two types of political thinkers in America. One who are very sovereignist, right, like the current government, or the nationalists. You can say they are very sovereign to the land. And another is internationalists. Internationalists are those who think about the global institution, and maybe that's why the United Nations had come up. But again, United Nations, which was the main founder was America, and America still is one of the last approver of many of the United Nations resolutions. In fact, I would think Russia and China would be leading America in that. So America, in spite of Monroe Doctrine, it only looks inside, right? It doesn't support internationalism irrespective of the party. Now, anti-internationalism runs deep in American political tradition, and this is where the copyright issue, the patent issue, the antitrust laws, all the laws are built to support the American citizens and America as a country, crossing the international border. And that is where the exceptionalism word was used by me. So the world has to deal with it until they have an alternative such as BRICS, right? It's not a threatening, it's just a statement. So yesterday, July 17, House of Representatives passed three crypto bills. First one is called the Clarity Act 294134. Second is the Genius Act 308122. And third is the Anti-CBDC Act, a historic win for crypto in the US. Regulatory clarity is coming and the future is looking bullish. That's what people are thinking. And you see, since then, the crypto has surged almost 30-40%. Uh, Now, what do the financial experts say of all these things? Economists at Davos in 2025 broadly agree that US dollar dominance remains likely for the foreseeable future. The world has an intensive love hate relationship with US dollar, but everybody want to have their reserve currency in dollars. It's now when they are moving to gold, but the speed is not that big based on the amount of investment that has been made in US dollar, uh, versus the reserve any country holds within American treasury. Experts like Kenneth Rogoff and the Indian origin Raghuram Rajan, who was once the financial advisor to the government of India and RBI head, Reserve Bank of India head, Raghuram Rajan emphasized that the reliance on US assets for safe investment still persists. Okay? So the love is there. But so does the unease about ever growing US debt, the interest of which outpaces defense spending. So the defense spending of America is almost reaching a trillion. It's 890 to 900 billion approximately. And that is the amount of money which America has to pay every year as the interest for its debt. Inflation is another issue. Okay, it and I know I don't agree with all the economists, because if economists were that great, country would not have seen the natural cycle of up and down and the great depression and recession, all those things, because they keep on changing their goalpost as situation happens. They have not been able to really stop it. So I have not tremendous respect for the economist, or the various school of thoughts. It's just, things which are going to happen will happen. You can only reduce the impact which economists will do, but they can't be somebody who can put a one button click solution. So when they keep on talking about inflation again, the current government thinks that bringing the tariff money will not increase the inflation. And inflation is an important part, as far as the consumer price index is concerned, because it builds into the calculation of the purchasing power, which actually decides how an economy is measured. So inflation is another issue. It has decreased the purchasing power of Americans. Some data shows that, for example, $1 in 2022 could buy you uh, what it was buying in 2020. Same commodity could be bought with more investment around $1.24 in 5 years. That's a huge change. Now this they are blaming due to the cumulative inflation. We'll have to see. But then the tariff money, will it go to the consumer or will it go to the government spending? or will it go to the job creation project? All those things have to be factored in. You just cannot make one blanket statement that, okay, this much money is coming, so we are worried it will cause inflation. No, it's not that straightforward. It's cumulative. So, as we come to the end of the program, there is a saying in Hindi, and sorry for my non Hindi viewers. There is a saying, Suniye sabki, kariye man ki. You listen to everybody. Everybody will pitch in with their knowledge, whether it's Kenneth Rogoff or Raghuram Rajan or even Donald Trump or Mr. Powell. But man here is conscious, not brain. But you need to be financially aware. Again, this channel is not suggesting any financial measure. We are not a financial expert. So be fina- be financially aware, or it will cost you your material happiness. Okay. And since I come from a Sanatan Dharma, I can only bring few of the knowledge imparted in my text, which I have read, which says there are four pillars of Sanatan Purushastra, the four things which a typical human beings should do. One is dharma, which stand for righteousness, duty, and moral law. Second is artha, which is finance. Third is kama, your passion, desire. And fourth is moksha, liberation. Liberation in not that term, liberation from life and death type of cycle. So, four purusas which a human has to do is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So, you see, artha, finance, has been discussed in the scriptures long time back. So, that's what I was referring to, be financially aware. Pursuit of artha must be aligned with dharma. And this is my ending statement. And this is for all the politicians. Acquiring wealth will not solve your nation's problem. Pursuit of wealth, artha, must be aligned with dharma. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.